Up people, so we're back with another video. Hope you all been staying safe and staying free and having a good start to the week. Now this one that I'm bringing to you all today is all about pedophiles inside a prison, so let's get into it. So I have touched a little bit on the subject before in HMP protective custody. If you haven't seen it, go and check it out. Now in my opinion, the worst crimes you can go to prison for in this day and age is for being a pedophile, a rapist, a child molester, a woman beater, along with a snitch. Now, as I said, and I'm going to say it again, if you cannot protect yourself, still take your chance and go into main population, as the best advice I ever took was not to go into protective custody, and I still live by it to this day, as you'll be living inside of protective custody with pedophiles, rapists, all of those wrongful people. Now, even if you're not a violent person and you're scared to go on the main population with violent villains, I'm sure even the kindest of people wouldn't want to be locked up with them kind of people. Now, when it comes to these wrongful men inside the prisons, the majority of prisons do have protective custody for these wrongful people to have their own space, but there's still a few prisons to this day to where they don't have the capacity, the space, enough space for them man to have their own space, so they have to go onto main population with other inmates and move about and live with man that's got kids. And if they don't have kids, then they've got siblings, and this is where they will lie to say what they're in there for. The screws will let out what they're in for, and on top of it, people will always find out what actually you're inside a prison for, so there's no point lying, and everyone always asks, what are you in for? Now, when it comes to the screws, the prison guards, you might have seen certain documentaries on YouTube and on a prison TV show to where they lie and they say, oh, we don't let our feelings get up involved in the job. They're lying. They spend more time inside a prison with the prisoners than what they do on the outside with loved ones. So of course they're gonna get up into their feelings and feel a certain way when they hear a grown-ass man came into prison, into protective custody, that they have to look after and make sure no harm comes to when they have kids themselves, or if they don't, they have siblings. So of course they're gonna feel a certain way. Now, when I was locked up inside of my category A prison, I used to get told by the older inmates the stories of what they used to do. Now, back in the day, a few years ago, the inmates used to prepare the tea bags and the food for the protective custody. But until obviously the prisons have clocked on and the screws, what the prison inmates were doing, they were pissing, shitting, putting stuff inside the tea bags, they were putting broken razor blades inside of the food, and they knew it was going to protective custody. So that's why they had to stop from inmates prepping the tea bags and the food for protective custody. It's just only now for people that's in main population, as it so it should be. Now, with these people inside of prison, there has been occasions to where I've got told by the older inmates, when protective custody is too full, they cannot go down to the block, because block is not protective custody for these men. It's for a punishment. So they have to go onto a normal wing and live and move around, man, like I said, that might have kids and if not siblings. So, that's where it does jam a lot of them up. And if you ask me, they should be all put on an island for them to do their time and be left there. But then that's too privileged for them to even have that. If you ask me, they should have something else. Now, inside of prison, if you are going to prison, don't go to protective custody. Is one of the best ever advice that I took from someone, when they said, bro, make sure you don't go there, as you'll be living with them wrongful people, and I'd rather take my chances like I did on main population with men that are in there from minor crimes to major crimes than to what they done to children. Now, if you do have any stories of you being locked up inside of a prison with these dirty ass people, do drop a comment, and make sure you all do stay safe and stay free.